Welcome once again to another edition of Quoth Raven, Lewis Bright Raven, Booktober edition, day 14. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven, 29-year veteran writer, illustrator, and editor of comics, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. And today's book is OSCWANA from Frank Martin. So let's get right to it. OSCWANA, a monster novel, $9.99 from publisher Severed Press. Writer Frank Martin. Couldn't find out who the cover artist was. Couldn't find a credited party anywhere on the book. This is one of those books that you order. Frank sent me a copy along with The Polar Paradox, which was a comic I reviewed last month. So I don't really know who the cover artist is, but they did a nice job on it. The genre is horror, and it was originally released in December 2019. What it's about, located just 45 miles north of New York City and isolated in the hills of Putnam Valley, Lake OSCWANA is the perfect summer getaway. At least that's what April's mother told her when she dropped April and her brother off to spend the season at their uncle's lake house. Well, it wasn't bad at first. April thought she might have finally found someone that made her feel like family and a place that she could actually call home. But April grew worried when she found something living in the water, something strange, something growing. She wanted to tell someone and sound the alarm, but April would have to learn the hard way that not all monsters lurk beneath the water. Martin combines a number of horror tropes, both fantastical and realistic, into a tightly written package of psychological and child's nightmares, as well as actual human issues with sexual abuse of a child, along with the kaiju monster trope. Like I said, this is a very tightly written novel, clocking in at 143 pages. Personally, I would call it a novella rather than a novel at that length, but either way. Martin does a respectable job of creating April and Oscar, that's the name of the monster, but a lot of the rest of the cast is not as well defined in my opinion. Her uncle Kenny, who was one of the key characters and the catalyst on multiple levels of the story's plot, strikes me as very obvious as to who and what he is. Obviously, I don't want to drop any spoilers, but I have to cite trigger warnings as his actions are psychologically and physically abusive to April, as well. I don't think I have to spell it any further out than that, do I? What is different is that April comes to be able to control Oscar, the kaiju, and a lot of what happens in the book is basically about April using the kaiju blob monster, Oscar, to take revenge against those whom she blames for harming her and or those she cares for. Now, a little bit, as you go into the story, you're just like, well, maybe there's a chance that Oscar isn't real. Maybe it's all April's imagination in overdrive. What makes more sense, that she discovered a freaky lake kaiju monster or that her mind was fractured and broken after being abused by her uncle? But this is where the author pulls the pin on the grenade. Oscar is real, and April is unintentionally controlling him to do her bidding. She's using the beast as a murder weapon to direct vengeance on a couple of horny boys, a company neighbor, and a child molester. Then she sends him to Manhattan to smash her parents for putting her in this position. From her point of view, they should have known what kind of person her pervy uncle was and never should have sent her and her younger brother there. while they just go off to do their own thing on vacation. Her mission had consumed Oscar and become the only force driving him forward, writes Martin. Nothing else mattered or even registered in its mind. Thus, a giant blobbish kaiju monster with a lamprey mouth, which is what you see this giant mouth here under the lake there. It's a lamprey's mouth. Attacks New York in a dramatic and totally satisfying kaiju rampage. If you enjoyed the movie Colossal with Anne Hathaway, which I've reviewed on this show, this is very similar with the emotional, psychological, and sexual abuses that both of those leads endure here in this book and in that movie. The difference is that in Colossal, the lead is much older, and here the lead is a 16-year-old and has a younger brother whom she's also trying to protect. Martin does a very nice job with this work. I do think he could have expanded the story here and there and maybe to get to 180 to a 200-page book, but I also see why he chose not to do so. It would make for a very interesting film. Kevin Van Hook, if you're out there, you might want to take a gander at the look at this and see if it's something you'd be interested in pursuing rights for making a film. John Norris says, hello. How you doing there, John? Good to see you. Maybe I'll let you borrow this book because I know you liked Colossal. But this is a little bit darker in a way because, like I said, she is younger than Anne Hathaway's character was. So it's quite a interesting book, though. Because of the abuse in the book, I do have to again mention a trigger warning, and I would recommend the book for an older audience rather than a PG TV 14 level audience for that reason. So I recommend it for ages 16 and up, and I give the book 4 out of 5 stars. And that is our book review for today. Tomorrow we will be reviewing Fantastic Four, and that is the John Hickman Special Edition, Volume 1, by John Hickman with art by Dale. Is it Dale Eaglesham? I think it's Dale Eaglesham. So that'll be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. And also this week, later this afternoon, actually, we'll have What Did You Get This Week comics reviews. That'll be at 4:30 this afternoon. Tomorrow will be the 1:30 Fantastic Four, as well as 8 o'clock p.m. tomorrow evening. We'll have Quoth the Raven with Drew Morrison as our guest. We'll be talking about his book, Broken Land, number 4. And we might also do some other stuff with Drew Morrison as well. We're looking into what we can pull off there. And then on Saturday this week, we'll have Booktober Day 16. And I'm not exactly sure which book that is offhand. Let me see what I can find here. It's the Magic Order. For Mark Millar and Olivier Copiel. That's what it is. So that'll be what we talk about on the Booktober day on Saturday, and then Saturday evening TV talk, Stranger Things 1, Season 1 and 2. And John, have you had a chance to get any of that Stranger Things watched, or am I going solo on that one? What time do I start tomorrow evening on Friday? It'll be 8 p.m. for Drew Morrison. On Saturday for TV Talk, I think it'll be around about 8 o'clock as well. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You lost your drummer. Um, so that makes sense. You'll be rehearsing because you got to get another one. You talk to Tracy about it. See if he's available, or maybe one of his students. You might want to ask him if he's got someone, he knows somebody who might be available, might be able to help you out. I hope you do find that. But in the meantime, yeah, here we go. If you guys liked this video, or you think others might, please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to continue your content from my channel. As always, I thank you for watching and for your support. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook at Lewis.BrightRaven and Twitter at LewisBrightRaven2. You can see my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis BrightRaven exclusively on YouTube. If you have questions, like you want to ask me about different topics of comics news or my opinions on certain things going on in the industry or something like that, or you want to make suggestions for content, try to reach out to me at Gmail at quothravenlbr72@gmail.com. I'm usually pretty good about responding. If I haven't responded in a couple of days, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. In the meantime, we will see you next time at 4:30 p.m. this afternoon when I do What Did You Get This Week? And we'll be reviewing quite a few books, and we'll be doing some unveiling because I just got a package in the mail from one of the crowdfunds. So we'll see you at 4:30 p.m. this afternoon. Until then, have a good one.